everyone, it's Gianna Lum at Convincing Crypto, where we keep you in the loop on all the latest trends and news on crypto and blockchain technology. Today, we have two very special guests again on the show. We have Nate and Mark from Olympus Insights. If you want to wave at the camera, you can. It's great having you back. I know we recently had you on the show to talk about your education platform on Cardano, but you've had a lot of really big advancements during the holiday season and this past month, and you have another big announcement to share with our audience. So if you want to just do a really quick recap on what Olympus Insights is for anybody who's new to the show, and then yeah, we can dive into what's new this past month.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having us again, Gianna. Hello, everyone. My name's Nate. I'm the co-founder of Olympus Insights alongside Mark, who is here with me today. And that's the business. The product that we've brought to you is the OLY education platform. So OLY is all about providing high quality, accessible education to people right around the world. And we've put a heavy focus initially on finance, Web3, crypto, NFTs, marketing, business, all these things that we really miss out on at school, and we want to deliver them in the most engaging, the most fun way as possible, and put a zero barrier to entry to that as well. So we've set out on a mission to spread the knowledge around the world, and things are going pretty good so far.
Do you want to add anything, Mark?
No, well, look, I suppose just to add to what Nate was saying, yeah, look, I think since we last met Gianna, I think we were at like 5 or 6,000 users on the platform. We've just crossed 15,000. We're signing up basically a new user to the Cardano ecosystem about every 3 minutes on average over the last 24 hours. So that's great. A lot of those are actually coming, as Nate said, we've had a big focus on Africa to start with. So a lot of those guys have never heard of Cardano. They're coming from the Ton chain. So they're coming on, they're learning about Cardano, they're automatically getting a wallet. So look, things are going really, really well. We were expecting to have less than 700 users based on our business plan. So 15,000 has been a bit of a surprise, but a very pleasant one.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations. I know when Steven told me that you've been doing a lot of work lately, he said you were at 13,000. I think that was last week. So it looks like you've grown a lot more in just the past week. So that's insane.
Yeah,
So huge congrats to you on that.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, things are ramping up. People are hungry for education. They're hungry for knowledge. Like, we've got this huge change in society. You're going to a digital tech space. We've got a wave of the crypto bull run kicking off. Things going on with AI. People want more knowledge, and we want to provide that to them.
I want to know where specifically in Africa are most people being onboarded from, and what specifically are they wanting to learn the most about? I know you can have different modules based on people's interests, and do you have the data yet to show, yeah, what's the most popular so far?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
awesome.
sorry.
Yeah,
Nate,
you can go. You can go.
I
Go
was
for it.
just going to
Yeah.
say, yeah, look, obviously we originally did our soft launch slash beta launch in Nigeria. So we've been operating there the longest. So we've been there for, I don't know, over 12 weeks now. We then subsequently expanded that into Gambia, Ethiopia, and Kenya. And we've only recently this month expanded into DR Congo and also Cameroon with Maureen, who was one of the people at the Cardano Constitutional Committee convention in Nairobi. So yeah, it's funny because Mo was one of the Cardano Constitutional Committee delegates, Nibu was, and Maureen, and then obviously Nate was delegate. I was the alternate. So yeah, Olympus Insights had 4 people there, which is probably more than any other group other than the founding entities. So pretty proud of that.
Uh,
So
don't,
look,
uh, don't
sorry.
forget Boaz. Don't forget
Oh,
Boaz
and
from DR
Boaz. Sorry,
Congo as
yes,
well.
Boaz. There's number 5. That's right, Boaz from DR Congo. So there we go. Olympus is heavily involved in governance and what's happening on the Cardano blockchain as well, which is great. But yeah, we obviously kicked off in Nigeria, so that's probably, they probably represent maybe 45% of our current customer base. I mean, look, it's open to anybody in the world. So we have people in the US, the UK, Europe, France, Australia. But we decided to actually deploy a very different type of go-to-market strategy than most projects. We wanted feet on the street. locals that understand the cultural differences between different countries and user groups. So we've now got, across Africa, 30 people on the ground, across ambassadors and country managers. They're all paid. They all have sales targets and acquisition numbers, and they're all out there essentially driving the message about Ollie and obviously driving the user adoption. So it's exciting. We're just about to expand into South America and Southeast Asia over the coming weeks. So yeah, a lot more to come.
Fabulous. And I'm so glad to know too that you're having people on the ground too who actually live in those countries and know the culture well too. I think a lot of times there's a problem with companies who they might have good intentions or they might have this savior complex and want to reach out to all these other countries, but having actually people on the ground who are being adequately paid, I think is so, so important to actually provide quality information and education for people who really need it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I've run a number of different sales and marketing organizations in different countries. And I said this to Nate from the outset, right? You can, by all the best will and judgment, hire great people who are passionate about what you're doing, but it'll never be sustainable unless they're getting adequately rewarded for their efforts. If you want to manage people, you have to pay them. So we set up with the principle from day one that we were going to pay them. And look, we're paying people, very well for the country that they're in. And obviously they get opportunity to earn bonuses and other things. So the team is super pumped. And yeah, look, everybody's really enjoyed the journey so far.
Are you offering different languages too right now on the platform, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
all on the roadmap and coming soon.
Okay.
So it's great having ambassadors in so many different countries. So we've got people that speak French, we've got people that speak Swahili, and all sorts of different languages, so they can help with the translation process. So we will, in the near future, have an option where you can go for courses in whatever language you feel most comfortable with. At the moment, everything's in English, but for example, Boaz is working to put some of the courses over into French. We've got some of the team in Kenya that are looking to put the courses into Swahili just to make it more accessible. Because that's what this is all about. Not only removing the financial barriers, but we want to remove the language barriers to education as well.
Do you have anything else that's new with the OLY token specifically and how you're rewarding people with that?
Yeah, so it's a very exciting time for us at Olympus Insights. So with 15,000 users on the platform, they've been working their way through as many courses as they can. We've blown past 50,000 lessons that have been engaged with on the platform, and that number is rapidly increasing. Um, Alongside that, every person that completes a lesson, they get experience points. That also works if they're referring a friend or if they're creating a lesson, if they have that inner teacher that they're releasing. As they're accumulating experience points for the leading up to now, they've just been sitting there accumulating, tallying up, and building to a nice number. On the 28th of January this month, 1:30 p.m. UTC, our OLY token public sale is going to go live. And at that point, we've obviously worked through the sale period. We've finished that, put the token onto a DEX. We activate the swap function on the platform, and people are going to be able to convert all of their experience points into OLY tokens. Something a stock trade mentioned before, so Mark mentioned before, is that we've created a Cardano wallet for every single user on the platform. So they just sign up, wallet's automatically created. So when they hit swap, it goes from experience points into OLY in their wallet. And then through the learning on the platform, they've learned how to create their own self-custodial wallet. They've taken control of their seed phrase, all of that stuff once they've been educated on it. So we're not throwing that hurdle and that barrier at them from day one. We give them a chance to learn. And then they can change their points into OLY, send it off to their own wallet that they have custody over, and they can get involved with any of the different mechanisms that OLY has. Or, of course, if they want to change it to ADA, or one of our partners in Jubis Wallet allows people on the African continent to go directly from the platform into OLY, into their Njibis wallet, and spend that on their day-to-day expenses. So that's a huge thing that we've been able to add. So shout out to Nibu, who also is actually the head of our OLY Ethiopia team.
So initially, before they get on board and learn how to use their wallet properly, do you have custody of their wallet? How does that work?
So it's a platform wallet similar to like Vespa or Tokyo,
Okay.
where they have a wallet created and they can take control of that seed phrase. But what we're encouraging people to do is never have anything in that wallet that is not their OLY tokens. So basically, there's just a swap button and a send button. We're not putting a receive button on there because we don't want people sending their NFTs. We don't want people sending their bags, anything like that to that wallet. So literally, it goes XP into OLY. So XP, hit the swap button into OLY, hit the send button, and send it to your own self-custodial wallet. Now, obviously, any wallet has a receive address. So if they're educated enough, they could go and find that using Cardano, Scan, or whatever. But we'll be encouraging people to completely go self-sovereign with that because that's what this is all about, right? Connect the unconnected, bank the unbanked, educate the uneducated. And when I say uneducated, I don't mean they don't know anything. I mean that people are coming in to learn about finance and Web3 because they haven't been educated on that yet. So very exciting opportunity there.
Got it. That's great to have that stepping stone. Mark, do you want to add anything too?
Yeah, look, I suppose Nate's covered a fair bit of that. The only other thing, in fact, I might even get Nate to explain this. The only other thing you didn't talk about, Nate, was the trust. Do you want to maybe let him know about the trust?
Yeah, so I think last time on the channel, Gianna, we spoke a bit about the utility for OLY. And one thing that we haven't spoken about yet with you is the vaulting mechanism. So we're setting up vaults for OLY token holders using our partnership with T-1 and Wi-Fi. So obviously Steve, who set this up for, connected us with you. So the vaulting mechanism, once people get their OLY tokens post-sale or post-claim from the platform, they're going to be able to vault them on T-1, and that will allow them to accumulate more OLY tokens over time, sort of like a passive income play. But then one thing that we've put together is what we call the OLY Community Trust. Now, the OLY Community Trust is us as Olympus Insights making a series of strategic investments into a number of different Cardano businesses across the ecosystem that we know, that we trust, and that we think are going to do a really good job over the next, not just 6 months, not just 12 months, but the next 5 and 10 years. So, and even further. So these are the people that we really believe in. So we've built relationships with them and we're going to be investing in their token and putting those tokens into a trust for our holders. We'll put those tokens into farming positions across the different networks, whether that's a farm on Wi-Fi, MinSwap, say Liquid, Fluid, anywhere that's yielding rewards. And 100% of those rewards is going to get passed on to the OLY token holders that have vaulted on the Wi-Fi platform. So we're just finding more and more ways to add value to this OLY token and give more rewards to our holders. So very excited for that. We've been having conversations with a lot of really cool people, like obviously Tokyo. We've got a good partnership with Wi-Fi. Having conversations with people like Navola, Iagon, Fluid Token, Strike Finance, and there's a whole bunch more to come. So yeah, the OLY holders, I think, are going to be very happy with what's to come for them in the future, especially if they get involved with the vaulting process.
Right, you're really thinking long term about this. And yeah, like projects like these are the ones that will really keep the ecosystem strong. And these are the ones that have actual utility and are here to stay. What's your timeline right now for the trust being launched and all that being in place?
Yeah, so vaulting will be live from day one. As soon
Okay.
as we have the liquidity event, people receive their tokens, they'll be able to go over to T-1 and get that vaulted. And that'll start accumulating all of the trust-based rewards and all of the OLY-based rewards as well. So it's just a matter of getting the tokens in your wallet and heading over to Wi-Fi to get that set up. And then all of the rewards are proportionate to your stake within the pool. So the bigger your stake, the bigger your rewards are going to be. And yeah, so everyone will be getting rewarded, but the more you put into the vault, obviously the better the amount you're going to be able to accumulate from that reward mechanism.
And for anyone who's new to how vaulting works, is your OLY token stuck in there? Can you pull out at any time? What does the vaulting look like?
Yeah, so it's going to be a 30-day minimum period to get involved, but it'll all be based on like the calendar, essentially the calendar month, right? So it'll be from the 1st till say the 30th. But if you come in on the 15th, then you're only going to be eligible for half a month worth of vault for that period. And then you'll have to have had it vaulted for the whatever period of the month you've had it vaulted for is what you're going to be eligible for. So there's a few finer details that we have to finalize with Stephen just to make sure that we've got all the ducks in a row in terms of if someone comes in for 2 hours, are they going to be able to be a part of the vault? There probably will be a minimum period, which may be 7 days, maybe 15 days. But then to get the rewards, you're going to have to be there at that time that rewards are delivered as well.
I know right now we're at a time of rapid growth, and a lot more people are starting to learn more about blockchain. They are hungry for this knowledge. What's your pitch right now to people? Why should they be using Ollie? Why not just some other platform right now? And what's something that you would tell a friend who's kind of skeptical and would rather do some kind of Web2 platform that's online rather than Ollie?
I mean, look, I suppose my pitch to a friend would be that there's zero barrier to entry, right? It's obviously free to join, so there's no cost. You're getting rewarded for learning. Um, the vast majority of the courses that are on the platform are actually, from people in the ecosystem. Obviously, we've made a lot of them initially to essentially seed the platform. But then again, we've been around the ecosystem. I've been here since 2017. So, I suppose you're getting education from people that basically, this is their life, right? Web3. So they're smart people. We've got, the crypto fluency team who obviously specialize in DeFi education. So there's a lot of really in-depth information from them. They've got a really great method of articulating how to get into DeFi, the risks, etc., how to maximize potential opportunity there. So I think it's a rich source of content from very smart people that essentially really understand the ecosystem. It costs you nothing to get in, and on top of that, you actually get rewarded for being there and participating. I should say, which I think we don't say often enough, is that you can't earn XP on our platform if you don't learn. So we actually have a threshold that basically, if you don't get over 60% of the questions correct, then you don't earn XP. So you can't just come on and whiz through a course, answer questions randomly, and then get paid. There's no way you can guess 60% of the answers right. So you literally have to learn. We're forcing people to learn. And obviously the objective is to educate people, right? So I think that's probably something we don't say often enough, that we literally are only rewarding people that have acquired knowledge from the courses they've done on our platform.
Yeah, and I guess like just to add on to that, if you like you mentioned other Web2 platforms that people can go and learn on, none of them are specializing with people with boots on the ground in the Web3 space. That's a huge point of difference for us, as Mark said, people in the ecosystem. But you also take away that barrier to entry of a financial cost. A lot of those other platforms, your average lesson, your average course that you're getting into is costing you 40 or 50 US dollars to do one lesson. Now, a lot of the places that we're working, 40 or $50, that can be getting close to a month worth of income. So we can't be asking people to come in and learn about the Web3 space and immerse themselves in this technology if we're putting a huge barrier to entry from a cost perspective on that. So we've committed to always having 80 to 90% of our content on the platform for free. So our users can be getting in there, sinking their teeth into as much learning, as much knowledge as possible, and taking their journey as far as they want to go. I guess the thing that people always say, well, if you're not charging people for the lessons, if you're giving away, if you're paying people, how could this possibly be sustainable? I can hear people probably asking the question as they're sitting watching this video now. And don't worry, we haven't just sat here and gone, hey, this will be a fun idea. Let's just throw all of our personal life savings into this until it goes to zero. We've put extensive modeling into practice. So we've got spreadsheet on top of spreadsheet on top of spreadsheet. And you want to talk to someone that nerds out and is in love with spreadsheets, talk to Stephen from Wi-Fi. He's crunched the numbers, he's gone over it from back to front, and he's very impressed with what we've come up with. So we've got a number of revenue streams that will fund the platform, that will continue our long-term development, ensure that we can support a stable token economy that will continue to grow and develop over time. And as we get more and more users, it's just going to become more and more powerful. So we've focused a lot today on our Learn to Earn platform. We have two other platforms, which is OLY for Business and OLY for Schools. The schools-based platform, we're coming in at like a 70% cheaper rate than any other schools-based subscription platform where students are subscribing to get on. We're charging $1 per student per month, and that's going to give them access to a whole suite of traditional education services. So teachers like myself, we can be using the OLY platform to do our day-to-day learning activities. I could be standing at the front of the classroom going through lesson materials on the OLY platform while my students are sitting there and using the OLY for Schools platform to go through the lessons. It's giving me as a teacher instant feedback that they're actually doing their work, that they're understanding the work, and that they're getting results. Then we've also got so I should say on that, a typical school has a size around 1,000 students. So $1 per student per month, it's $1,000 per school per month. You start to do the maths there at how that could stack up. We've got the OLY for Business platform, which again is a subscription-based service where businesses get a private version of the OLY platform. They can use this depending on their needs for their OH&S, their upskilling, their onboarding, all of their training, their sales and marketing development. If they're a micro business, a startup business, a crypto, an NFT business, whatever it might be, they can even add different layers of gating thanks to our blockchain background. They'll be able to gate with an NFT gating system, a fungible token system. They can use email gating if that's what they want, if they're a Web2 business. But it keeps all of their information proprietary, so they can decide what they want to share on the public learn to earn platform and keep everything else for just the people that they want and that they need to see it. So those platforms are starting at 99 and 199 a month. So that's obviously the business-based subscription. They also allows the business to have subscriptions to them. So let's say you're an NFT startup or even a YouTube channel. You want to have people subscribing to your content exclusively, then you can have your subscription to OLY for Business. People can subscribe to you to get access to your learning content specifically, or anything else that you might be wanting to train people on. And that's your environment there.
Yeah, so out of that microservices market is sort of bringing Patreon and YouTube together, but obviously with YouTube, it's broadcast only. There's no sort of consolidation of knowledge process through questioning. So we're basically taking YouTube, doing the consolidation of knowledge like a traditional learning platform would do, and then adding Patreon onto that as well. So it's sort of one combined ecosystem for any sort of startup, micro business community, or typical organization. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that's kind of like Patreon with a hyper personalization and offering something special just for your network of people or your number one fans. I want to know though, I know you're reaching out to different businesses for special courses for the workers there. You're reaching out to different schools. What's your certification system right now? Are you working right now with schools to make sure that they meet certain standards, or like this is equivalent to, like, I live in the state of New York and I helped my friend put together a curriculum. Certain things have to meet like the equivalent of this is what the science standards are. Are you doing that right now? And for the businesses, are there specific certifications maybe that people who learn about blockchain can earn and say like have it as a certificate that yeah, all our members went through this course, they're qualified, and like this is the specific seal of approval from OLY or some other org that's international or something?
Yes, there's a couple of layers to that question. So when it comes to schools, we're not coming in trying to say, hey, change the curriculum. It has to be all about Web3. We're facilitating that traditional Web2 learning. There's going to be a database of resources that teachers can pull from. So if they need an algebra lesson, pull it out. If they need a history lesson, pull it out. And they can put all of that onto the platform. And then on the base level, it's no different to any other paper test that a teacher would give out. The teacher could hand out a paper test and be like, okay, students, sit here, do this, burn a tree every time that we have to run a classroom test, which is obviously terrible for sustainability. Whereas if we put all of this online, we don't have to be cutting down trees. The teacher can save themselves a lot of time with their prep work in terms of creating the test, but also getting instantaneous feedback for the students. Initially, the like multiple choice, tick boxes, all the closed type of questions, that's easy to do. The teacher will still have to do a little bit of work when it comes to some of the sentences and the extended answers. But as our AI tech develops that we're building in the background, that process is going to become a lot more simplified because they'll be able to recognize the wording, and similar to what happens with a lot of the standardized testing that students do online today. When it comes to certifications for school and even business, on our roadmap is to get registered as what we call an RTO, or a registered training organization. So we will be able to deliver specific certificates on the platform. And then that will go into we could even go into first aid, like delivering, OH&S delivering things like first aid courses for business and stuff like that. This is a beautiful thing about the blockchain, and this is on the Learn to Earn platform, the schools platform, the business platform. We can put all of this certification online. So we're working with some incredible partners like Socius DAO, who have built decentralized identity solutions to allow us to put all the things that these students are learning onto a certificate, link it to their decentralized identity, and help them to build a digital resume. And that's across all three platforms. So as we grow, as we expand, we increase these things. We tick off the boxes on the roadmap, getting registered as an RTO, getting different affiliations. Stock trade, or Mark, I always call him Stock Trade. That's his Web3 name. Mark has friends and affiliates with Sophia, which is one of the largest competency framework development companies in the world. So we're going to be working with them to develop competency frameworks for all the skills people are accumulating on our courses to map them out to real world job opportunities. So not only are we giving people learning opportunities, financial opportunities, we're creating job opportunities as well. And that's right around the world. One thing that, as we jump back to our network through Africa, one thing that they struggle with, they might go through all of their years of schooling, all their years of university, become one of the best coders or marketers or whatever in the world, but there's just no opportunity because the job market is so stressed over there. But by putting all of this online and giving these worldwide recognizable certifications in their digital identity, they can be applying for jobs no matter anywhere around the world. They could be sitting in Kenya, Nigeria, Ethiopia, applying for a job in London, New York, Sydney, wherever it is. And we have a verifiable credential source to say, yes, this person has done all of that learning, they have ticked all the boxes they need, and they are eligible for that job that you've got waiting for them.
That's great. Yeah, that's why I asked that certification question to see if, yeah, would those credentials be eligible if people needed those for a job anywhere in the world. I have another question regarding how your learn to earn model works, specifically with students. If they're minors, are they able to earn the OLY token, or does it go back to the teacher or the school, or how does that work? Are you creating wallets for like fifth graders as well?
Look,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah. So the token's only related to the Learn to Earn platform, and to be Learn to Earn, you've got to be 13 years or older to participate in that. So obviously, with the school platform, that's very specific to the school, the individual country curriculum or state curriculum, the school teachers. One of the great benefits of sort of one of the things we're building there is, teachers will be able to have public libraries where if I'm a maths teacher of year 7 and I've done a course, then I can basically publish that so other people who are teaching year 7 maths can also access that, so you don't get duplicated effort. But yeah, inside of the school area, no, they won't be getting any of the OLY token. It really is just a straight out learning management platform with some new bells and whistles. And obviously, well, there will be some Web3 aspects to it, but that'll be on a school by school basis and who really wants to engage and get involved on that side of things.
And I suppose just even on that, there's two things that we haven't touched on, which are probably two absolutely massive things, which is our AI tutor that we're building, and something that else that we've got going on in Kenya. So I hope, if I forget the second one, remind me to speak about that as well. So one of the things I'm incredibly excited for is our AI tutor, and this will be across all of the platforms. So being able to give students that one-on-one time that they really need. So I've been teaching for 10 years. I know what the classroom experience is like. Your general lesson, you're going to go into the class, you have to take attendance, get the kids to calm down, get them at their desk, get their books out, get them switched on, go through a piece of you delivering the learning. This can take 15 to 20 minutes of your lesson. At the other end, you've got to spend 5 or 10 minutes packing up, get the rubbish off the floor, whatever else. All of a sudden, out of a 60-minute lesson, you've lost half your time. You got about 30 minutes left, and most classes have at least 30 students in them. We're talking about 1 minute per student per day that you get to actually spend with each of those students. How could that be enough time? That's barely enough time for the student to tell you what the problem is that they're having, let alone for you to try and help them work through it and develop the skills that they need. So what we're doing with our AI tutor is creating a one-on-one full-time teacher, full-time tutor for each student, where they're going to be able to have set their goals. The tutor will learn from their goals what they're trying to achieve. It'll learn how they learn, where they need extension, where they need remediation, and everything in between. It'll be able to set them little quizzes to consolidate their knowledge. And there's so much power with this AI wave that's coming through. So that's an incredible opportunity for students, for teachers, streamlining the process, enhancing their learning. The tutor won't just spit out answers for them. The tutor is going to be about helping them to deliver those critical thinking skills, the problem solving skills that they need, rather than saying, this is the answer. They say, how do you think we could get to the answer? If you did that, where's that going to lead you to? Do you have any other ideas? How could you get to this answer faster? All of those prompts that we as teachers want to be there to give, but we just don't have the time in that 60-minute lesson. The second thing that we're working on at the moment, and big shout out to our OLY Kenya team, we've been having meetings with Minister for Kenya Minister for Education in Kenya, not the Minister for Kenya in Education, but I suppose whichever way you want to take that. But having meetings, and we're about to sign an MOU with the Minister of Education in Kenya to put OLY into the hands of students around that country. And that is also going to be putting the OLY into the hands of students that maybe didn't engage with their education. So I guess former students that we want to give more opportunities to. So they'll be able to get onto the platform, consolidate some of that knowledge that they may have missed out on, take their knowledge further. When we've got all the certification online, they'll be able to build themselves a digital resume and create a whole suite of new opportunities for them to take their life to the next level, empower themselves financially and from an education standpoint.
Congrats. Those large institutional collaborations are huge. So yeah, good on you for being able to actually sign that MOU and collaborate with the Ministry of Education. I want to know, are you also trying to figure out just like the regulations within countries and like, I don't know, like in the United States, there's always talk like there could be books banned and stuff like that. And how would Ollie operate in a situation like that? If a country or a school system said like this was not allowed, would you say this is free speech and this is on the blockchain, or would you have to try to figure out those regulations in a different way?
Yeah, look, good question. I mean, look, I think with a new president coming into the United States, it seems to me that crypto is probably going into its friendliest era from a regulatory point of view. Certainly Australia, the UK, most places around the world seem to be opening up to that. But
Mm.
I mean, look, we've got an extensive back end, that we spent 2 years building in order to be able to do things like you're talking about, which is moderate content, understand how we manage the release of content. We've obviously got the ability by country to be able to, let's say Ollie, for whatever reason, like basically, giving out tokens was illegal in some country. Then we could disable that country from being able to earn the OLY token. So I suppose these are all things that were taken into consideration as part of the architecture. We don't expect that to happen purely because, look, I think if the courts start chasing after people that are trying to provide free education to people, like where does it end, right? Literally, like it's like the ultimate social good. But if it was to happen, we absolutely have a mechanism in the back end to control that in any given jurisdiction. Look, that's largely driven by IP address, so people could get around it with VPNs, but look, that's sort of the best solution that we have, technologically to be able to deliver at scale.
Got it. Got it. We're just about at the half hour point. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we have to get going, or is there anything else that you'd like us to look forward to or be anticipating for next time that we talk about next time?
Yeah, so I think we've covered off a lot. The first thing I want to remind everyone, mark your calendars. The OLY public token sale goes live on the 28th of January, 1:30 p.m. UTC. So I'll say it again for anyone that missed it, 28th of January, 1:30 p.m. UTC. It's on our Twitter, it's in our Discord, it's on our Telegram, our WhatsApp. If you want to find out more details about what's involved, what the utility is for the OLY token, what's your benefit going to be as a holder, and anything else like that, feel free to find us on the socials. Check out these awesome videos that we've done with Gianna. There's another one from a few months back that we covered a few different topics. The AI Tutor prototype is getting very close to being released. Man, there's so much cool stuff happening. Like the fact that we've crossed 15,000 users in such a short period of time is, like, for us, mind blowing and so like rewarding to see that the model works and that people are hungry for education. They're hungry to find out more about this Web3 space. And we think even by the end of this month, we're probably going to be able to cross 20,000 users on the platform, which puts us miles ahead of any other expectation that we had. So stay tuned for that, and yeah, get yourself excited. Thank you so much for having us, obviously, and yeah, love being here.
Yeah, and look, just finally on that, which we always forget to do. If you want to try the platform, it's at app.oli, OLI, the number 4, education.io. And I suppose the only other thing is, yeah, look, we are also launching that on Android and iOS, and you'll be able to download those apps from the App Store very soon.
Fabulous. And I'll do another announcement on Twitter on January 28th, and I'll link all your websites and everything down below in the description. So if people want to check it out, if you want the preview of it, or if you want to follow them on Twitter, definitely do that. I think it's a really worthwhile platform to check out.
Thanks very much.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate your
you.
time.
Thank you. Yeah, always happy to have people on the show who are actually doing actual projects in the real world and actual utility to make the world a better place. So thank you. All
Great
right.
stuff.
Well, that's it for us today. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. Feel free to share this with your friends if you enjoyed this content, and we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.